Hello guys, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time of day it is for you. Hello and welcome back. I am very happy that you're here. We are on our 5th day of AP World History, which is pretty strange for me. This is 2 weeks of doing all this virtual online stuff. I can't wait to see you guys in person. I'm really excited about that if it ever happens. So guys, this is our 5th day of class, and it is our 3rd day of actually diving straight into the Period 1 and Unit 1 material from the AP World History curriculum. All right, so far we have talked about what constitutes a civilization and an empire. And then we went straight into Period 1, the reminder guys, year 1200 to 1450. And we talked about the Song Dynasty of China, okay? Remember, East Asia. And we did our GPersia chart. Okay, guys, so if you have your AP World History Study Guide in front of you, you will look and you will see that topic 1.2 is going to talk about the Islamic world, all right? So that is what we will be talking about today. So lots of really cool information, a big geographical region, really diverse, super interesting, and I hope you guys will enjoy it. And this photo is actually a picture of the Abbasid Caliph, all right? And we're gonna talk about him, and we're gonna talk about the society in a little bit, all right? So here we go. So guys, today, taking attendance, we will do some memes today. Not gonna lie, they're not my best ones. For our warm-up, I am going to introduce you all to the AP exam. Now remember, the AP exam is something that will be offered. You are required to take the exam if you want AP credit here at Columbus High. And I strongly recommend you take that exam, okay? Right now, you're probably thinking, well, I don't want to take that exam. This virtual education thing's not working for me. Take the exam, okay? We'll talk a little bit more about that in a minute. After we do that, we are going to do Unit 1, Topic 1.2, which is the Islamic world. And we are going to fill out one of those GPersia charts for the Islamic world, okay? We are still in Period 1. We are still doing Unit 1, all right? And when we are done with that lecture, I'm going to give you a Canvas writing assignment, okay? So I know a lot of you are thinking, hey, another writing assignment. Come on, Garner, this is boring. But listen, writing is very, very important in AP World. In fact, it might be one of the most important classes for writing behind AP Lang, okay? So those of you who are in Miss Mills and Miss Williamson's class, you're doing lots of writing in AP Lang. Well, you're also doing lots of writing in AP World for Miss Garner, for Mr. DeQuadro, or for Mr. Metters, okay? So we're gonna do a lot of writing, and it's gonna be preparing us for that AP exam, okay? All right, so here are memes of the day. Yeah, guys, very, very low order humor. All right, my other meme for y'all. This one might not be funny, but it's definitely a good way to think about the Song Dynasty, okay? Love those Drake memes, woo. All right, so the AP World History exam. So guys, when I sent that introduction letter to you, maybe 2 weeks ago at this point, I really, really implored you to think about taking the AP exam. Now, I'm not sure if Miss Allen has sent out more information, but Columbus High School will pay for one AP exam for you, okay? So some of you are gonna take AP Lang, some of you are taking AP Psychology, whatever, AP Human, whatever. But I really, really, really want you guys to consider taking AP World. The school will pay for it, or you can pay an additional $90-something and take it. Now, I can't force you to take the exam, but here's why I think you should take it. First of all, when I was in high school, I took 2 AP classes. I took AP US History and AP Government and Politics, all right? And I passed those exams. And so when I got to go to college, it saved me a lot of money when I was paying my tuition because I didn't have to take those classes, all right? And that really put me ahead of my the other students at my university, all right? That's one important way. But here's the other. You have to take world history class, all right? Here, AP World is required, but you still have to take it in the state of Georgia. So you're gonna have to take the class. So you may as well just go ahead and try your best on this exam. Not only will you save yourself some money in the long term if you pass, but you also don't ever have to take this class again, all right? Last year, I had quite a few students tell me that they did not like world history. And that made me very sad. But the good news is if you don't like world history and you take this exam and you do well on it, you don't have to take it again, okay? Think about that. And that's pretty cool. We're gonna talk more about what kind of scores you need to get college credit a little bit further down the road. But right now, I wanted to give you a little bit of an introduction to the exam, okay? Right now, College Board has scheduled the exam for May 10th, and that's in 2021, okay? So that'll be next year, all right? Let's fingers crossed that 2020 ends a little bit more successful than it started, okay? The exam is going to be 3 hours long, and it's 3 hours and 15 minutes long, and it will start at approximately at 8 o'clock, okay? So guys, you're gonna, most of the questions are gonna come from multiple choice. And again, as we go on in this course, I'm gonna give you more and more strategies about how to do these multiple choice questions. A lot of them will be stimulus based, all right? But again, all you need to know are the big concepts in AP World, all right? You don't have to worry about the details. You just gotta know the big concepts, okay? And then you are going to have 3 different kinds of writing. We are probably going to start working on short answers or SAQs next week, okay? SAQs, you'll have 3 questions and each question will have 3 parts, all right? Again, we'll go over this more next week probably, all right? That's 20% of your test. The big mama though, the big mama of the writing is going to be the document-based question or the DBQ, okay? That's gonna be 25% of your final exam score. You are going to be given either 5 documents or 7 documents. Last year, they only gave the students 5, but historically they've given them 7. I don't know what they will do this year. And you will take those documents and you will write an essay, all right? It's kind of difficult, but we're gonna get there, I promise. And then finally, at the end of your AP exam, you're gonna get the long essay question or the LEQ, okay? The LEQ is going to be 15%. Now, in my experience, my students last year learned how to do an LEQ and they did really, really well, okay? So we're gonna get there as well. But I wanted to let you guys know why we do so much writing in this class, okay? This exam, which, I mean, this is a money saver. If you can pass this exam, when you go to college, you don't have to take AP or you don't have to take world history. Take it, get a good score, and don't take AP World at college, okay? But I wanted you to see this chart because I wanted you to know why we do so much writing in this class, okay? Does that make sense? I hope so, all right? I'll probably bring this chart up again because I think it's really helpful. I think it's a really good visual to see what our exam is gonna look like and a little bit more about my expectations for you in this class, okay? All right, guys, so GPersia, here we go. So as I said, we are doing the Islamic world today, guys, all right? So my recommendation for you is if you have your AP World History Study Guide, as I showed you in one of the last classes you printed out, I would go ahead and write your little GPersia on topic 1.2. All right, we are going to go over all of these today. The Islamic world, we're going to generalize quite a bit, okay, because there's lots of different states, a lot of conflict between these states, but you know, there's quite a few similarities in religion as well as geography. But yeah, so go ahead and write that GPersia down and let's go ahead and start. All right, guys, so the geography, okay? I wrote Islam here, guys. It's shortened, but I want you to know that we're talking about the Islamic world. Okay, so when we talked about China, we talked about East Asia, all right? The Islamic world is a huge swath of geography, right? Islam is practiced in Southeast Asia, it's practiced in South Asia, it's practiced in the Middle East, it's practiced here in the United States, okay? But what we're doing right now is we're looking at the Islamic world in period 1, all right? So Islam is going to be the dominant culture in the Middle East, all right? So this area, what used to be Mesopotamia is today modern day Iraq, okay? Saudi Arabia and Northern Africa, all right? And what a lot of people don't know is that Islam is the dominant religion in Spain during this time, okay? Muslim invaders have actually come up through Northern Africa and taken over large parts of Spain, all right? So Spain is there's going to be a lot of Muslims, okay? So what you need to know is that with this huge geography, Islam is going to control the crossroads of the Silk Road as well as the Indian Ocean trade. And these two are going to be two critical trading routes, all right? The Silk Road is going to be land-based and the Indian Ocean is going to be ocean-based, all right? It's going to be water-based. And so you are going to see anywhere there is trade, anywhere there are merchants, there are going to be Muslims. Okay, Muslims, there's a very, very important reason why merchants and traders are so highly valued in Islamic culture, and we will talk about that in just a minute, okay? Okay, guys, for our last class, we used this big phrase right here, diasporic communities, okay? What I said last class was that when you see some of the bigger cities in China, you definitely saw some big or some small communities of diasporic communities of Muslims, all right? So as I said, guys, wherever there is trade, there are going to be Muslims, all right? And they are going to leave areas in the Middle East, in Northern Africa, and they're gonna settle in places like China, all right? In East Africa, in India, and they are going to be in charge of this trade, all right? They're going to be trading, you know, local goods for goods from foreign places, all right? You need to understand that these diasporic communities, like what we said last class, these Muslims that settle in these communities, in general, they keep their religion, okay? They intermarry with their own ethnic group. They don't really try to spread the religion, or sometimes they do, but for the most part, they kind of stay by themselves within these bigger communities, all right? So if you looked at a big city on the coast of India, all right, you will always see a Muslim diaspora community, but they tend to live together. They don't really mix with the local Indian population, okay? All right, guys, so Islamic political systems. Muslims are going to be living in states all across the Middle East and North Africa, and everyone tends to think that just because you practice the same religion, you're going to be at peace, and that's just not really true, okay? In general, these Muslim states, all right, these states that tend to be practicing Islam, they're going to conflict with Christians and Jews and other groups. But the majority of the conflicts are going to be between Muslim states, okay? You're going to see this we're going to talk specifically about one, all right, the Abbasid Caliphate, all right? And the Abbasid Caliphate is going to, by the time we start in 1200, it's going to be really, really declining, okay? And the reason it's declining is not because of Christians, it's not because of Jews, it's not because of, other religions, it's because of other Muslims, all right? The Seljuk Turks are actually taking down this caliphate, all right? So guys, what you need to know in general about these Islamic states is that most of them, they haven't sort of an emperor, a leader, all right? And the leader of these states tends to claim that he is the caliph, okay? And the caliph is the true head of all Muslims. So a caliph is basically the head of the religion, all right? Now I'm trying to think of a good example, a modern example. And the only thing I can really come up with is today, people that are Catholics, all right? The head of the Catholic Church is the Pope, all right? He's sort of that direct connection to God, right? So this is kind of the same thing in Islam, okay? If someone claims they are the caliph, they are the head of all of Islam, all right? The head, period, okay? Now here's the thing, guys. These conflicting Muslim states, they tend to have leaders that claim they're the caliph. So, if in this map here, guys, if someone in orange claims to be the caliph and someone in green also, it doesn't help, right? It's bad because you're supposed to have one head of your religion. And so that is where you're going to see a lot of these states start to conflict with each other. There's all these different caliphs, all these different people that claim to be the head of their religion, but really you can kind of only have one, all right? And that's where you're gonna see some of these Muslim states in conflict with each other, okay? So guys, in general, some of these Muslim states are going to be empires, all right? As I said, one of them will be the Abbasid Caliph. And all of these empires are gonna have the same traits that we have talked about over and over again, right? An empire, they're gonna be tolerant, they're gonna have all the traits of civilizations, they're gonna be patriarchal, their leaders are going to be kind of in bed with religion, so all of those things, right? And in general, Muslim states are really going to have a lot of political traits in common with each other, right? Like I said, this Muslim state and this Muslim state are all going to claim they have the one caliph, all right? And again, that's why they're going to conflict. So one example is the Abbasid Caliph, all right? And this picture here is actually Muslim art depicting who in the Abbasid Caliphate claims to be the caliph, okay? So guys, as I said, we're gonna talk a little bit about the Abbasid Caliph, all right? So the Abbasid Caliph is this really, really important political state. But by the time that 1200 kind of starts to roll around, they're definitely on the decline, all right? You pretty much need to know them. You're gonna meet them kind of at the end of their life, right? They're just about to decline right as we get dropped in to period one. All right, so the Abbasid Caliphate, it's a Muslim empire. So again, it has all the traits of empires. And basically it is very, very tolerant towards non-Muslims. And I need you guys to know that that's pretty important. That's part of the traits of an empire, right? So what's going to happen is that the Abbasid Caliphate is going to expand and they're going to take over these other civilizations. And while they do so, they're not going to force Islam on these new civilizations, okay? And that's really surprising to a lot of us today. We turn on the news and we see, Islam. We have these preconceived notions about Islam. We think, oh, this religion is forcing other people to become Muslims. But historically, Islam is very, very tolerant, okay? Even today, Islam is very, very tolerant, all right? And even in this time at the Abbasid Caliphate, very, very tolerant over non-believers. In fact, one of the cool things about it is that if you are a non-believer in Islam, you may keep your religion, but you have to pay the jizya, okay? And that is a Muslim tax on non-believers. So if you wanted to continue practicing to be a Christian, or practicing your Judaism, or practicing Hinduism, sure, have at it. We don't care, but pay the tax, okay? And that provides a lot of goodwill, okay? Sure, you're taxed for your religion, but you still get to keep your religion. And that's really, 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 really tolerant, all right? Which is why the Abbasid Caliphate is able to spread so far, because people are tolerant, all right? They're okay with this. They just have to pay their tax, but they can continue to practice their religion. And guys, as we said, in general, these Islamic states, the emperor, the head, claims to be the caliph, okay? All right, guys, so we're gonna move on to that E part of GPersia. We're gonna talk about the economics of these Islamic states. And this is really, really important, guys. In general, Muslims tend to be, as I said, wherever there is a trading route and wherever there is an opportunity to trade, you can, bet your bottom that there are going to be a group of Muslims there, okay? Muslim groups are extremely, extremely active in world trade. They're going to trade on the Silk Road and the Indian Ocean, which I've told you. But they're also going to be very active in the Trans-Saharan, all right? That's crossing this northern part of Africa, which is mostly desert. And they're going to be around on the Mediterranean Seas trade route, okay? We're going to talk pretty extensively about all four of these things. Just know that wherever there is a place to trade, you can bet that there will be Muslims, okay? So many Muslim-controlled cities are going to develop along these routes. And as I said, you're going to have these cities, and they're in whatever empire, whatever civilization, and you're going to have these diasporic cities, all right? You're going to have little groups of Muslim people living together in cities run by the Greeks or in cities run by Indians, all right, in China. Muslims are always going to be in places where they can trade, all right, and they're going to stay together. All right, this map is really helpful, okay? What you see on this map, wherever you see green, is where you're going to find Muslim diasporic cities, all right? You can see the extent of how far Muslim traders have expanded, all right? You see them in Eastern Africa. You see them in South Asia, here in India, okay? You see them in Southeast Asia, right? You see Malaysia, you see a little bit in Burma here, okay? And this star, this little green star, that tends to be where the Muslim homeland is, all right? Okay, guys, so I keep telling you, like over and over again, that wherever you see trading, wherever you see a trade route, you're gonna see Muslims. And why is this? I mean, if you were a practicing Muslim, does that mean that you have to be an artisan or you have to be someone engaging in trade? No, not necessarily. But in Islam, artisans that's considered one of the most prestigious profession. And the reason is because the prophet, okay? And we will talk more about the religion in a minute, all right? But kind of like one of the most important people in the Muslim, mosque, the systems, is a man named Muhammad, okay? And he was considered the last prophet of God, all right? And Muhammad was a merchant, all right? So in a lot of ways, if you are a merchant, in a lot of ways, you're honoring Muhammad, the prophet, all right? Muslims see that the merchant profession as very honorable, right? It's kind of the opposite of what happened in Song, China. We talked last class about how merchants are seen as very low because they sell other people's goods. Like they don't do anything. They just profit off of other people. But in this Islamic world, merchants are very, very important, okay? They're the ones that are actually doing this trade, but they're also honoring the Prophet Muhammad. And that is critical stuff, guys. And that is why you see these Islamic traders all over. So anywhere in Eurasia, Europe, Asia, Southeast Asia, anywhere you go, you're gonna see Muslim traders, all right? And you're gonna know that that profession is extremely prestigious, okay? So guys, I wanted to talk a little bit about this religion, okay? The first thing you need to know, and I have bounced between Islam and Muslims, okay? If you practice Christianity, you are a Christian. If you practice Judaism, you are a Jew or you are Jewish, okay? If you practice Hinduism, you are a Hindu, all right? Islam's a little tricky, all right? If you practice Islam, you are a Muslim, all right? If I hear any of you call someone in Islam's, all right, I'm gonna be really sad. Please don't do that, all right? It's just one of those like pet peeves of mine. If you practice Islam, you are a Muslim, all right? Everyone makes that mistake. Sometimes when I watch news at night, I hear the news broadcaster call, oh, these Islamis. No, guys, no, they're Muslims, all right? I know it's a little tricky, but don't get that wrong, all right? Especially don't get that wrong on your AP exam. So guys, what is Islam? All right, it is a monotheistic religion, very similar to Judaism and to Christianity, all right? It was founded by Muhammad, the prophet, in the 7th century. Okay, I'm not going to go into all the things that what is Islam, all right? But there are 5 things that you need to know, all right? The 5 pillars of Islam. First, you need to have faith, all right? And faith is there is no God but Allah, and Muhammad is his prophet, okay? Allah is the Arabic word for God, all right? Basically, this first statement, this first pillar, okay, it is a statement of monotheism, all right? There is one God, that's it, all right? Drop, end of story. Like there's no questioning that somebody else could be a God or, you know, all these different kinds of gods we can worship. No, one, that's it. You have one God, okay? And Muhammad is a prophet. And guys, this is very, very similar to Christianity and to Judaism, all right? One God. In fact, Muslims, people who practice Islam, think that Allah is the same God that Christians and Jews pray to, okay? They might call him or her, whatever, Allah, but this is the same monotheistic God that Christians and Jews pray to, okay? The difference is that Muhammad is a later stage version of the same God, okay? Judaism has one God, all right? Christianity was a little bit later, all right? Muslims see Jesus not as the Son of God, but as another prophet, all right? So in the Muslim faith, Christians and Jews, I mean, it's a brotherhood. They all believe in one God and everybody's on the same playing field, okay? So guys, the second pillar is prayer, okay? So obligatory prayer, all right? Muslims should be praying facing towards Mecca, which is the holy city. They should be doing this 5 times a day. And so if you go to a place that is majority Muslim, you will actually hear the call to prayer, all right? So a couple years ago, I lived on an island that was majority Muslim, okay? I lived on an island in the Maldives, which is a small country kind of off the coast of India. And every day at the preordained times, I could hear from wherever I was the sounds of the call to prayer, right? It's a beautiful sound. So Muslims are meant to pray 5 times a day, all right? It seems like a lot, but not really. I mean, I don't think so. All right, the third pillar of Islam is fasting. So guys, the Muslim calendar is a lunar calendar. So kind of this major month called Ramadan It changes every year based on our calendar, but Ramadan is an entire month where Muslims are supposed to fast all day. I believe Muslims are allowed to drink water, but I'm not sure. I know the only exception to the rule is that pregnant women are allowed to eat during the day. But during the month of Ramadan, you cannot eat during the whole day. You have to wait until the sun goes down and then you may eat, okay? And that is that's that third pillar, okay? The fourth pillar, I'm gonna go on out a little bit out of order. The fourth pillar is alms, all right? This is no different than Christianity or Judaism or most religions. Be generous, give to the poor, help someone who needs help, okay? And finally, the fifth pillar is something called the pilgrimage. You need to know this, guys. This is really cool, all right? Every Muslim is required to make a pilgrimage from Mecca to Medina once in their lifetime, okay? I wanted to show you a little video about what that means, all right? This is a couple days long pilgrimage, and Muslims are required to do this once in their life, and they follow the footsteps of the Prophet Muhammad, okay? And it is a very, very important and spiritual component of Islam, all right? So let me show you this video. Okay, here we go. All right, here we go, guys.
Western mountains of Saudi Arabia, in a sanctuary roughly 100 miles square. Since long before Islam, it has been considered sacred territory, where no one could hunt, cut trees, or fight. At the heart of the city is a great mosque called Al-Masjid Al-Haram, and at its center is the Kaaba. Muslims don't worship the Kaaba. They worship what it represents, the one God. Hajj takes place in and around Mecca. It is a series of rituals performed between the 8th and 13th days of the last month of the Islamic calendar. While circling the Kaaba is the final act of the pilgrimage, it is also the top priority for pilgrims when they first get to Mecca. For Muslims who have prayed in this direction every day for years, seeing the Kaaba for the first time is almost overwhelming. Now to the Valley of Mina, where the Prophet Muhammad stopped and rested on his Hajj nearly 14 centuries ago. This is a town that grows from virtually 0 to 2 million people overnight. At dawn on the next day, the camps stir with anticipation for the greatest day of the Hajj. 2 million people are off to the plain of Arafat. Some 50,000 vehicles clog the roads. Arafat is 8 miles east of Mina. It's the place, Muslims believe, Adam and Eve found each other after exile from Eden. And it's seen by many as a rehearsal for the Day of Judgment.
It's Judgment Day. All the trappings of life sort of fall away, and you see these people in front of God Almighty, and that's all there is.
A strange quiet descends in the afternoon as people turn inward. It's called the Standing at Arafat. Only when the sun has set can pilgrims leave Arafat. Nearly 2 million people stand poised to move as soon as the sun dips below the horizon. The pilgrims move back toward the white tents of Mina, where tomorrow they will engage in a symbolic battle with the devil. Here, Muslims believe, God asked Abraham to sacrifice his son but the devil challenged him not to. One story says, Abraham pelted the devil with stones 3 separate times, chasing him away. 3 stone pillars mark the spots where Abraham stood his ground. At a place called Muzdalifa, on the way to the pillars, pilgrims pick up pebbles to stone Satan themselves. The ritual is called the Jumu'at. With all other rites complete, pilgrims return to Mecca for a grand parting visit. They have all earned an honorific title, Haji for the men, Hajjah for the women. Pilgrims arrive alone in a current of 1 million strangers and go home riding a spiritual wave of rebirth.
Okay, guys, so I wanted you guys to get a sense of what the Hajj looks like. You obviously don't have to know everything that happens, but you do need to understand that this is a really, really crucial part of the Muslim faith, okay? So again, once in every Muslim's life, they will have to go and do this spiritual, this reenactment almost of kind of what happened in the beginning of Islam, all right? And this is important stuff, all right? So I hope that video helped kind of make you get a sense of what we're talking about, okay? Okay, guys, so Islamic states in general. All right, so again, Islam is indeed a missionary religion, very similar to Christianity and Judaism, excuse me. So that means that they will be trying to spread it actively. Okay, Muslims are actually going to try to get other people to join the Islamic faith. Okay, so Muslims are going to speak a lot of different languages in an effort to proselytize. That's a big fancy word for try to get people to join their faith, okay? And they're going to be ethnically diverse because the more and more people that they commit to joining Islam, a lot of these times, these people are going to be of different ethnicities. So Islam is going to be very, very diverse, okay? But as Islam spreads, so too does the language of Arabic. So guys, part of what Muhammad felt when he, in the creation of the Muslim faith, part of what he said was that, you know, when he put down 2 words, what God told him, he felt that the language that was spoken was that of God. And so the language that was spoken was Arabic. And therefore, when you read the Quran, which is the sacred Muslim text, you need to read it in Arabic, okay? So even though Muslims are going to speak many different languages and they're going to be ethnically diverse, they're also going to have to learn Arabic in order to read the sacred text of God. Okay, so Arabic is going to spread. And I think at some point, Arabic was the 2nd most spoken language in the world. All right, it spreads very rapidly so that people can commit to reading the Word of God. All right, in general, Islamic states are going to have much of the traits of a civilization. Okay, the only thing that's going to be different is they're not all going to have the same ethnicity. All right. They're really not going to all have, they're going to have the same religion though, okay? Other things that you need to know, upper class and middle class women in these Islamic states frequently veil themselves, all right? Similar to Song Dynasty China, you're gonna see that like, we've got a patriarchal society. Again, men are going to rule, all right? And part of that structure, that hierarchy, is that women are going to be below them. Now, what you need to understand is that the Prophet Muhammad this was not part of original Islamic teachings, okay? This is not part of the original Muslim faith, okay? What is going to happen is that while Islamic states spread, they're going to adopt certain traits from other civilizations, including patriarchy, all right? If you actually read the original text from Muhammad, women are seen as very, very important, okay? But again, while these civilizations and empires are spreading, they're going to adopt certain traits. And one of them is going to be patriarchy in this case. Okay. So women are going to veil themselves. And this is because a lot of these Islamic states have adopted patriarchy. Okay. But one thing that is important, and we're going to get to it today, is that it's mostly just upper class and middle class women and not lower class women. So I want you to try to think about why upper class and middle class women frequently veil themselves, but lower class women do not. I want you to think about that. There's a reason, all right? It's very similar to how in the Song Dynasty China, upper class and middle class women have the foot binding, but lower class women generally don't. Okay, so let's think about that. All right. Also, alcohol and pork is forbidden. Okay. Now, I mean, pork, I know a lot of you probably like your barbecue. You want to go down in countries and get some food, but yeah, pork, I don't care, whatever. But alcohol is really kind of interesting because, again, the Prophet Muhammad takes the word of God, and the word of God is don't drink. Okay. But guys, a lot of these Muslim traders, you know, a lot of them need a little bit of a fix, right? So what's going to happen? Well, if any of you love coffee as much as I do, you can thank these Islamic states, all right? Coffee culture, tea culture, all right? Mostly coffee is going to be something that is adopted by these traders. They can't drink alcohol, but they need a little bit of a caffeine buzz, all right? So, you know, next time you go to Starbucks, I want you to make sure you thank these Islamic states, because without them, we would not have this delightful coffee culture. Okay. And this last point on here, we're going to talk more about that in next class. Islamic states are very, very dedicated to knowledge. All right. They're very, very dedicated to preserving history, especially that of the Greeks and the Romans. All right. These are empires of the past that have long gone by this point. But Muslims are going to refine some of their philosophies and teachings, and they're going to spread this knowledge. And this is important. Okay. Keep this in mind for tomorrow. All right, guys. So innovation. All right. What you need to know is that innovation of these Islamic societies tends to go hand in hand with the fact that Islamic states really, really, really love or really hold in high prestige merchants. So a lot of these innovations are going to make trade easier. All right. They're going to create saddles for camels. They're going to create this thing right here called the caravanserai. Okay. This up here, this picture, this is a caravanserai. All right. Basically, this is a modern day hotel. All right. This is a modern day Holiday Inn, except it's not. So what's going to happen, guys, is that if you are a Muslim trader and you're leaving Egypt to go to China to pick up some silks and porcelains or what have you, where are you going to stay along this 6-month route? All right. These Muslim states, all right, these Islamic states are going to figure out that if they create these little roadside inns, these traders are going to have places to stay. All right. It's going to be safe. It's going to be, you know, helpful for these traders, and it's going to make trading a lot easier. So if you guys stay at a, you know, next time you guys are staying out at the, you know, Hampton Inn or Motel 6, we can thank these Islamic states. All right. The other thing that Muslims have really, really helped in innovation is math. And as a history person, I am not going to thank these Islamic states. I do not like algebra. No, 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 I do not. But without, you know, as I said in the last slide, Muslims are dedicated to the preservation of knowledge, especially of knowledge and philosophy. And they create algebra, all right? And this guy down here, this is Nasir al-Din al-Tusi, all right? He is the father of trigonometry, okay? I'm not sure when y'all take trigonometry here at Columbus High, but when you take trigonometry, think about this, all right? Think about these Islamic states and how they have really helped create this math curriculum for you. Okay, guys. Last thing on our GPersia chart. Muslim architecture. Okay, I love architecture. Oh my goodness, I love it. And you know what I love even more? Muslim architecture. Okay, I love bright colors and beautiful symmetry. And if you guys have ever been to a mosque, you will know exactly what I'm talking about. All right, this picture doesn't even do justice to how beautiful Muslim architecture tends to be. All right, these architectural elements, you see lots of like domes, you see arcs, you see vaults, okay? And you see radiant bright colors, okay? Almost as bright as my classroom, all right? You will see rich patterns and lots of symmetry, okay? Again, this kind of goes hand in hand with Muslims' love for knowledge, all right? This creation of math, this trigonometry and algebra. And when you take your knowledge of algebra and trigonometry and you apply it to building, you're gonna have these amazing structures with domes and patterns and symmetry. And yes, I don't really like math, but when you take math and you apply it to a beautiful building, I'm all for that, okay? So guys, just as we're wrapping up this lesson, I went ahead and created a little bit of a GPersia chart for you. So guys, when we're talking about the Islamic world, we're talking mostly about the Middle East, but we're also talking about North Africa, like Egypt, guys. We're also talking about Spain, amazingly, all right? And we're talking about these little diasporic communities along the Indian Ocean. The P part, the politics, we're talking about Islamic states, we're talking about empires, all right? These empires, their emperors tend to claim that they are the caliph, all right? That the head of their church or head of their religion. And they tend to have a lot of conflicts with other Muslim states, okay? The economy, as I've said, major traders, okay? Religion, we've talked about Islam today. You don't have to know everything there is to know about Islam, but it will really help you in the future if you know the 5 pillars, okay? Social institutions, again, patriarchal, no alcohol, no pork, and dedicated to knowledge. Kind of sounds like a weird group of stuff, but I kind of had to throw everything there. All right, innovations, things that make trading easier, all right, and also math. I mean, I don't like math, so I don't know that I could consider it an innovation, but I guess we gotta call it that. And as for the A, art and architecture, those beautiful dome-shaped mosques, all those beautiful bright colors. Muslim architecture is phenomenal. And you guys are gonna get the opportunity today to dive a little bit deeper into Muslim architecture, okay? So you guys are gonna go onto Canvas, you're gonna go onto modules, you're gonna go onto period 1 and down to Islamic world writing assignment, okay? And you are gonna look up 2 really, really important pieces of Islamic architecture, and you're gonna compare them a little bit. You're gonna see how cool or how interesting these architecture styles really are, okay? You're also gonna have another question. It's going to be about the status of women, all right? I don't think it's that difficult, but again, I will stay on Canvas, so you can ask questions if you have any more. All right, so let's see. We have finished up with the Islamic world for period 1, so yay! All right, tomorrow we're gonna move on to topic 1.3, okay? So I'll probably need to find a new exit slide, but I do like this one. So history never really says goodbye, history says see you later. Okay guys, so have a good rest of your day and can't wait to see y'all in class.